Okay, here's the test review for Tuesday. We're going to have 10 matching questions. The rest will be short answer. There'll be 35 total, 3 points apiece. 105 points. We'll meet in the Commons on Tuesday. And we're going to start by asking Macklin a question. Who is the Confederate general who led the rebels during the Battle of Fair Oaks?
Was it Joe Johnston?
Joe Johnston is correct. Okay, Dane, who was the Union commander who foiled the efforts of Jeb Stuart's Confederate cavalry in the Battle of Gettysburg?
That was General Custer.
General George Armstrong Custer. Okay, Garza, this is a tough one. Who was the Union soldier that was assigned to Battery B during the Battle of Antietam, who later won the Medal of Honor? Okay, watch it on the video. Union soldier that was assigned to Battery B.
Was it Joshua Jones?
No, you're on the right track, wrong person.
Oh, Johnny Johnson.
Johnny Johnson, very good. Johnny Johnson. Okay, Pete. Who was the lieutenant, Union lieutenant, that threatened to cut his own soldiers down unless they returned to their skirmish lines during Pickett's charge at the Battle of Gettysburg? Union lieutenant that threatened to cut his own soldiers down unless they returned to their skirmish lines along Pickett's charge at the Battle of Gettysburg.
Is that me?
Nope. Lieutenant. Meade was a general.
Oh,
Remember those rebels, even though they lost 50%, casualties stopped at that fence line and kept on fighting, and the Union were so shocked by their resistance that they turned and ran. And at the top of the hill, this lieutenant told them, either turn around and hold your lines or I'm going to cut you down.
was it Frank Haskell?
It was Lieutenant Frank Haskell. Very good, yep. Okay, Caitlin, my dear, who was named overall commander of Union forces just prior to the Second Battle of Bull Run? Just prior to the Second Battle of Bull Run. Henry Halleck. Okay, very good. Okay, Tasia. Who was the Confederate general who did not view Robert E. Lee's orders as practicable? Who was the Confederate general who did not view Robert E. Lee's orders as practicable? That's right, Richard Ewell. Very good. Okay, Taylor, my dear, who was the Union general that led Union troops to defeat in the Second Battle of Bull Run? Union general who led Union troops to defeat in the Second Battle of Bull Run. What's that? No, oh no, Grant never. No, this is, no. I don't know if he was a good Catholic or not, but John Pope, there we go. Okay, John Pope. Okay, Lauren, my dear, who was named overall commander of Union troops just prior to the Battle of Gettysburg? Matter of fact, he got a message from Lincoln and thought he was in trouble, but instead he was given the overall command of Union forces. General George Meade, very good. Okay, Siobhan. Who was the Union general who suffered high casualties in a very short battle at Fredericksburg? And Ambrose Burnside, very good. And last one, Kellyanna. Who was the Union commander who lost to Robert E. Lee's Confederate Army at the Battle of Chancellorsville? Joe Hooker, very good. Okay, those are your matching kiddos right there. All right, moving over to Brady because he's on fire and he's about to have his fourth .25 birthday next week. During what battle of the Civil War in the Eastern Theater was Union General George McClellan apprehensive to attack without reinforcements, despite the fact he greatly outnumbered the Confederate forces? The Battle of Fair Oaks. Hey, Michaela, my dear, tell me the two things that General Winfield Scott offered Colonel Robert E. Lee during their meeting in April of 1861. He offered him two things. What two things did Union General Winfield Scott offer Colonel Robert E. Lee during their meeting in April of 1861? It's a tough decision for me.
Promotion from the
Rank of,
colonel to general.
okay, and more importantly,
Offered him overall command of the army.
overall command of the Union Army. Very good. Okay, Macklin. During what battle of the Civil War in the Eastern Theater did Confederate General Thomas Stonewall Jackson, along with Jeb Stuart, stop the Union advance, pushing them back across the James River towards Washington, D.C.? Don't be weak when you think about it. Yeah, don't be weak when you think about it. Don't take a week to figure it out. Jesus, give me an answer.
Second battle of the
No, does anybody want to help him on that? The 7 Days Battle. Take a week to go, yeah, okay. 7 Days Battle was a battle in which General Thomas Stonewall Jackson, along with Jeb Stuart, stopped the Union advance and pushed them back across the James River towards Washington, D.C. Okay, Dane, after what battle of the Civil War in the Eastern Theater did Confederate General Robert E. Lee decide to go on the offensive and take the fight to the border state of Maryland? After what battle?
That was after Chancellorsville?
No. Because what was the battle that ended up, what battle was that he took, that was on Maryland soil? The Battle of Antietam. So what battle did he win prior to that that gave him the confidence to go on the offensive? Macklin will help you out.
Second Battle of Bull Run.
Second Battle of Bull Run. There you go. That was the battle they won that gave Lee confidence to go to the border state of Maryland. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, okay, Josh, give me one reason why the Confederates wanted to win an important victory in Maryland during the Civil War. One reason why they wanted to go on the offensive in Maryland. One reason why the Confederates wanted to win a victory in Maryland, which turned out to be the Battle of Antietam, which didn't turn out so good for them. But what was one of the reasons they wanted to win a victory there? If you look under the subtopic Bloody Antietam, I'll bet you find it. I'm not sure what kind of organization you have there in your notes, but kind of going in order here. Anybody give me one, Pete, and I'll go back to him. What's that? Yeah, victory on Union soil might convince Lincoln to end the war. That's one. You find it yet, Josh, my man? Okay, Caitlin, give me another one. Yeah, a victory might draw Maryland into the Confederacy because they were a border state. They were equal on each side, or they were non-biased. And he thought if he could win a victory in Maryland, they would come into the Confederacy. How about the third one? Did you have lunch today, Josh? What would have happened if you wouldn't have had lunch for like a week? Trying to find what?
Where it's at?
Well, just listen to me. What would happen if you didn't have lunch for a week? What if you didn't have lunch, supper, or dinner for a week? Yeah, so what would be another reason why the Confederates wanted to win a victory in Maryland? A victory in Maryland might give the Southern soldiers access to the food that was in that area, right? Because they were They hadn't had lunch, supper, or dinner for a long time. So the third reason was a victory in Maryland would give Southern soldiers access to food that they desperately needed. Okay, Brady, what was the history-changing event that occurred just prior to the Battle of Antietam that turned the tide in favor of the Union? What was that? What was that? Historic? You probably out at lunch smoking. What was the history-changing event that occurred? You out there at lunch today smoking?
Oh, they found cigars.
They found 3 cigars, and what was on those 3 cigars?
Leaves, plant.
They were, yeah, the cigars were wrapped up in paper, right? And that paper showed Lee's plan, strategy for the Battle of Antietam. So what happened, the history change event was a Union soldier found 3 cigars with battle plans of Lee's wrapped around them. And he was very eager in the cigars, but when he opened them up, he said, whoa, look at this, and took it to McClellan, right? McClellan then wasn't apprehensive to attack, and it turned out bad. Okay, Lauren, what exactly did the Emancipation Proclamation do, officially?
It freed all the slaves, but only in this, like, seceded.
Freed all the slaves in the free, it freed all the slaves in the states that seceded from the Union. Very good. Did it free slaves in the North? There wasn't a lot of slaves in the North, but no. It only freed the slaves in those states that seceded from the Union. So, Keisha, what were the 2 reasons why Lincoln decided to issue the Emancipation Proclamation? He had 2 reasons for it.
To quiet the radical Republicans.
Very good.
Were trying to,
Quiet the radical Republicans that thought he was too soft on the Confederacy. And what was the other one?
it would keep France and Great Britain from helping the South.
Exactly right. Okay, and that's that's all you really got to put with the caveat that they were willing to fight for states' rights, those 4 countries, but not for slavery. But you can just go ahead and put the proclamation kept France and Great Britain out of the war. Okay? All right, tough question for you, Siobhan. What was the fate of Buffalo soldiers if they were captured by Confederate troops during the war?
They weren't treated as prisoners of war, so
Right.
they were either shot or burned alive.
Yeah, either shot or burned alive and were not treated as prisoners of war. In addition, just so you know, white officers who commanded those black troops were often given the same treatment. Okay? All right, good. Okay, I'm going to go to Caitlin. Did I miss you or did I get you? Okay, Taylor. During what battle of the Civil War in the Eastern Theater did Union forces march in strict military formation, resulting in 12,000 dead soldiers in a very, very short engagement? Led by Ambrose Burnside, which Siobhan told us about earlier. What was a battle that Burnside marched his Union soldiers in strict military formation? The Confederates shot from behind rocks, trees, anything they could, and just cut down 12,000 soldiers in a matter of a short time. Battle of Fredericksburg, very good. Kellyanne, during what battle of the Civil War in the Eastern Theater did the Confederacy lose the services of Thomas Stonewall Jackson permanently? In other words, he died as a result of a wound in which battle? I'll read that again. During what battle of the Civil War in the Eastern Theater did the Confederacy lose the services of General Thomas Stonewall Jackson permanently? Go down the line here. Very good. The Battle of Chancellorsville. Yep. Okay, Michaela, what was the reason that Confederate General Robert E. Lee so desperately wanted to gain control of Culp's Hill during the Battle of Gettysburg? Why did he make such an effort to get that hill?
So he could put his hands up there.
And
Fire attack.
the Union defense lines. So the good answer to that is he desperately wanted to gain control of the high ground where he could place his cannons and fire them at Union defense lines. Okay, he wanted the high ground where he could place his cannons and fire those at Union defense lines, which were located on Cemetery Ridge. Okay, we'll give you another chance here, Garza. I want you to give me the two options that General Meade gave his commanders to vote on during his Council of War after the second day of fighting at Gettysburg. He gave them two options. What were they?
Stay and fight or go back to Washington.
Very good. Perfect. Stay and fight or go back to Washington, D.C. Okay. Dane, Lee had a three-part strategy for the Confederates for July 3rd, 1863. Give me phase one.
Continue attacking Colts Hill.
Continue to attack and capture Culp's Hill. Okay? Macklin, what was phase two?
The cavalry was going to go around and everybody's going.
Okay, be a little more specific. You're right, though. Jeb Stuart's cavalry of 4,000 men was going to go behind Union lines, where they were going to hit into the middle of the Union lines to try to split them in half. And the third part, Brady, which kind of goes with the second. Okay, well, let's be more specific. Lee, with his Confederate infantry of 13,000 men, were going to attack the center of Union lines on the opposite side of Stuart, which we know in history is Pickett's charge. The problem was Stuart never showed. I'm not asking you that, but so the three-part strategy. Phase one, continue to assault and capture Culp's Hill. Phase two, an end run by Major General Jeb Stuart's 4,000 cavalry to plunge themselves in the middle of Union defense lines on Cemetery Ridge. Phase three, Lee and his 13,000 Confederate soldiers would hit the same center point of the Union defense lines to split the Union lines in half, resulting in what? General Meade retreating back to Washington, D.C. Okay, good. Pete, what mistake did Confederate General Lee make at Seminary Ridge using rebel cannons to try and soften the Union defense lines before his frontal attack on July 3rd, 1863? Made a mistake. What was his mistake?
Well, he predicted that they were going to be farther back. from the
They be
line.
in the Union.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so the cannon fire was going overhead and wasn't actually doing it.
Okay, because where were those Union soldiers?
They're up on
Yeah, so what you want to say is that Lee assumed that the Union soldiers would be back off of the ridge. He didn't think they would hunker down right on the front of the ridge, so he shot those cannons where he thought those soldiers would be behind the ridge, when in fact those Union soldiers were hunkered down right in front, and it did no damage. Okay? Okay, Brady, during Pickett's charge, when did the Union forces begin to retreat, despite the fact the Confederates had suffered 50% losses up to that point in the battle? When exactly did they decide to retreat? Yes, when the Confederate soldiers reached the fence line. Okay, Taylor, give me one example of the devastation that the town of Gettysburg incurred after the Battle of Gettysburg. What's that? It was burned and in ruins. Give me another one there, Caitlin. Farms were totally destroyed. And what was the third one, Backlund?
There were like bodies everywhere.
How many? Not 1,000, but 10,000 bodies of both rebel and Union soldiers spread out all over the town and around the surrounding farm areas. You can imagine that? Okay? All right. Well, there you go, kiddos. There's the test. So those of you that won't be here Monday will feel better about yourselves. Those that'll be here Monday, we will go through this one more time. So if you're the unfortunate soul that's going to be here both days, you'll be better at answering questions.